civilmedia.mk. Slobodno, nezavisno, otvoreno.
I'm speaking to Wolfgang Ressmann from Germany, whom I will ask to say a few words about himself, about the project that he's running, and about his professional engagement these days. But first of all, Wolfgang, hi, good morning, and how are you? How are you coping with the coronavirus, self-isolation, and all the measures that are in place to protect ourselves?
Yeah, Germany is at home like whole of Europe and half of the world, or the whole world, and so I am at home too. It's very fine, and so I have time to work and to think about things. In normal times, I have no time, so I can say it's great to talk to you now, to have such an opportunity, and I'm well, and I hope that my friends all over the world are well too, and we will resist this virus crisis.
Sure. What are you doing? What is your occupation in this period before the corona crisis, but also now? What is your project about? What are your projects about?
So my profession is the managing director of a public access channel, the first one in Germany, OKTV at Ludwigshafen, and I am the chairman of our organization on national level, from public access radios, public access TV channels, and I'm the chairman of the Youth for Media European and North Africa Network for media literacy, talking about journalists' issues and talking about democracy and media development in the countries. This is what I do, and in this both positions we manage, and I manage together with our Ministry of Foreign Affairs project with the so-called countries of the Eastern Partnership. Means Ukraine, Georgia, Moldavia, Armenia, and to talk about peace, to talk about tasks of journalism in times of fake news, open war in Ukraine, or frozen conflicts in Georgia and Armenia. So that's a lot of things to do, from the small ones to the big ones, and that's what I like very much.
That's exactly what I wanted to say. It's quite a long list of positions and tasks, but they are, I would say, mostly connected to the democratic human rights corpus of themes and issues that are currently very important, especially speaking about the coronavirus pandemic. Wolfgang, I would like to refer to a letter I read from you yesterday that you shared with me, a letter in which you're warning about the risk for human rights and democracy in times of measures, the states of emergency, and different types of operations that different governments across Europe and across the world are taking. So would you share with our public and with the international public, of course, what are the concerns about the human rights nowadays when we have states of emergency across the world, when governments take more power in their hands?
Yeah, we have the problem with the coronavirus is not the. We had this problem before too. We have this problem of de-democratization in a lot of countries. Right-wing populism is a problem. In the European Union, we have the problem. We have had the problem and have the problem in Poland with this government. We have the problem in Hungary, especially combined with the virus crisis, and in all countries of the Western world, human rights, political rights in this crisis are going down. that you don't be allowed to meet each other, don't be allowed to talk to more than two persons, and so on. In this situation of virus crisis, I think it's necessary to protect people, to protect life, but we must use this Corona times also to think about how necessary these political and human rights are, to reflect it and not to give it up. And after the crisis, some right-wing populists say, okay, we don't need this. You see, it works without it. So that is a danger also in the heads of the people.
That's right. I mean, I just read, I think in Deutsche Welle yesterday evening, that Brussels has issued warning signs to the Hungarian Prime Minister that the power grab must not be used or abused under the excuse that somebody is that they're fighting against the coronavirus. Would you comment on the Hungarian situation? How do you see the Hungarian situation right now, especially in the light of the coronavirus struggle and challenges?
From my position, what Orban's government and Orban himself does is not compatible to European values and to the European community. And to say I have 1 year only make my running the government by decrees without parliament, this is absolutely unacceptable and has nothing to do with Corona. This is a trial to say how can we abolish democracy, and there the virus is an instrument, and I think this is a real hard development in Hungary, in between the European Union, and we have to say no to Orban, and so I hope that Brussels says no to this development without heavy sanctions to Hungary when Orban doesn't take these things back.
In other words, if you agree with me, power grab and authoritarian governments do not necessarily mean that they can successfully fight the coronavirus pandemic or any other challenge in the society. To the contrary, I would say that the power grab is abused or used for the interest of a small group of people against the interest of the majority, and not necessarily mean that they can solve crisis or any other problem. Well, maybe there is a need to make some distinction between what discipline and following advices and measures from relevant institutions and what a strong hand of the authoritarians mean. Maybe we should start talking about these two different meanings of something that might look similar to one another.
My opinion is, in crisis times, you have really these two different parts. One part of the people wants to have a strong leader of a society to say that is the right way, this is forbidden, this is not, this is allowed, you have to follow me on my way. This is one possible reaction of the people. The other is a democratic reaction, meaning that it is our responsibility to fight the virus. It is our responsibility how to work with our neighbors, how to take distance. This is our own decision, not made by the government. I think this is a democratic way, and so this virus crisis is also a chance for democracy when we clear it up in the public opinion and discuss this both position, the dangerous one, also in the perspectives, and the democratic one as a chance after the virus.
Right. When we speak about the coronavirus and the real fast spread of the coronavirus is one thing, and it's really worrying. But on the other hand, it looks like the fake news are spreading even faster. the contamination by fake news is even faster and bigger, and in some ways fake news can cost lives. And in that respect, do you see that the societies are ready, maybe the German society is ready to fight the fake news and to fight the disinformation that is being spread from various reasons, with various motives? Do you have some considerations of this, and maybe we should do something more as organizations, as media, in struggling with fake news contamination, so to speak?
Yeah, the fake news is a problem since we have the rising up of the social networks. Also in Germany, the social networks, Facebook and so on, you know what I mean? This is, there are the fake news are working, and there are the fake news are going into society. This is one side. This is one part which is rather dangerous. On the other side, in Germany, we have the strong public radio and TV system paid by the people, and so they are working against it. Also, our papers are working against it with to give special informations about fake news from the social networks. And in the paper you can read, and in the TV or radio program you can listen to the real information. So they tried, so the journalists, so the professional journalists in Germany mostly not feeding the flame and try to inform people. That does not mean that sensational things to raise it up and to make it more dramatic are things which are abolished at the moment. But in the middle, I think there is a trustful work of the great majority of journalists, and because of that, people are so quiet handling the situation at home.
So I believe that political culture and also the confidence of citizens in institutions at local or state level is very important in this respect. And lucky for you, but not all European or all global societies, globally speaking, are so well organized and with such political culture, of course. That's a pity, but we need to work. I guess actually your projects are going into that direction as well. I would like to, speaking about the fake news, I'd like to recall a recent report by a European agency that is working on the fight against fake news and disinformation and other hybrid threats against democracy, in which it was clearly stated with a lot of arguments and with a lot of facts there, that the Russian-based pro-government Russian media are actually in quite an offensive in terms of producing and disseminating fake news across Europe and across the world. That fake news are actually generated in order to give some advance to the Russian the advancement in globally as a factor, and we have this impression also here in North Macedonia, but we can see that this is a global phenomenon in which the Russian or pro-Putin media are actually in this operation for quite a long time, and the coronavirus has been used or abused as a space in which the fake news are diminishing democracies and diminishing the confidence of people in their healthcare systems and in their governments in general. Do you have some research or some considerations of this issue about the Russian foreign influence in this area?
Yeah, at the moment we have two things. Naturally, fake news production by Russian media, by internet bots, and so on. But we really have to imagine too. I got this messages yesterday that in the open war in Ukraine there are more fightings. At the moment, the weapons should be quiet. This is one of the agreements, but the separatist and Russian sides make real attacks with a lot of death, people in the front line in the Donbass, and the same. My friends from Armenia sent me that there are also shootings in the front lines to Azerbaijan. So we have behind this virus front there are happening real things, and we should have a look at this, what is happening behind this front. On the other side, yeah, we have this fake news production. We have propaganda. We have this propaganda that Russians themselves to Italy. This is naturally also have been a problem based on less solidarity in between Europe at the beginning of the Corona crisis, and we have this in Germany also to influence public opinion, but I think it's not so successful. In Ukraine, in a lot of other states where the Russian influence is much higher, it is a dangerous weapon of Russia to get more influence to public opinion. And so we have to say what are the Russians are doing, what are their techniques, and what are their messages. And so and we have to discuss that with the journalists, that to cover it up and to say this is Russian propaganda, these are Russian fake news. I know it's a hard job.
Well, with this final message that it is a very hard job to struggle against fake news and disinformation and propaganda, I would like to thank you very much for your conversation and for your answers and for your input into our media production. I'd like to wish you all the best, stay safe, and send our best regards to Germany, which is a great friend of North Macedonia indeed. Thank you very much once again, and all the best. Bye.
Thank you too. Bye.
civilmedia.mk. Slobodno, nezavisno, otvoreno.